Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I not just, last year, but just now recording, returned from my cruise on the MSC Seashore, and today I will be sharing my honest experience. To keep things simple, I'm just going to rate 10 different categories using a score from 1 to 10. 1 means it needs some major improvement, and 10 means it was already absolutely amazing. So my 10 categories are going to be the stateroom, the overall ship appearance, shows and activities, parties, drinks, main dining room, the buffet and free dining options, specialty dining, staff vibes, and the fellow cruiser vibes. So I'll go through each one briefly, share my personal highlights and lowlights, and then reveal my total score at the end. So if you're thinking about booking on the MSC Seashore, or you're just curious how it compares to other cruise lines, definitely stick around and let's get into it. Okay, y'all, so let's start with the stateroom. My husband and I stayed in a balcony stateroom. And overall, it was really nice. The room was always clean. When we first got there, it smelled very clean. We, of course, still did our wipe down and, Lysol everything, but it was very, very clean. You could tell it had been recently updated. It was nice and spacious. And my favorite part was that it had a really nice, huge full body mirror. If anybody ever travels, then sometimes the full body mirrors can be hit or miss, or they're inside of a closet or something. But this one was really nice and big at the foot of the bed, which was really cool. It was lacking on outlets, but that's pretty universal amongst, cruising. And then our balcony was a really nice view. But when you looked down from our balcony, you saw like onto the other balconies, which I did not know that was going to be like the room layout or the ship layout. But that's what we had. But it was overall still a great room, solid room. And for that, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Okay, so for overall ship appearance, I am giving the MSC Seashore a 8 out of 10. It was a beautiful ship. Do not get me wrong by taking 2 points away, okay? And I'm going to explain why. It was a gorgeous ship. It was always sparkling. Like, it felt like people were always walking around shining and buffing things. And it was absolutely gorgeous. I don't even think that videos and pictures capture how beautiful this ship really is. But the reason I'm taking away 2 points is because in comparison to other ships that I have been on, everything just felt tight. Like, even in the atrium area, they don't really call it an atrium on the ship, but in that, the general gathering entry place, in the middle of the ship, everything was just tight. And even though it was tall, it was like maybe 5 or 6 huge TV screens that sat behind the atrium bar. It was just tight. Everything felt close. The walls just felt close to each other. I'm used to being on a ship where everything just feels so open and expansive in the general common areas. And I just did not get that vibe on this ship. And then also, I will admit, the Lido deck was a little dry. Now, I'm going to attribute that a little bit more in the party category, because that's what you expect on the Lido deck. But the Lido deck, to me, it was just like a big screen and a bunch of chairs and a pool, and that was it. Like, there was nothing. There isn't, to me, a vibe of like bar, party, or things to do. It just was like a deck. So overall, nice, beautiful, but an 8 out of 10. Shows and activities. All right, y'all, this is where it's about to go to the left a little bit. I'm giving a 5 out of 10, and I will explain why. The talent that they had was talented. I will give you that. There was a violinist, there was a juggler, there were several bands and musicians and singers. They had a couple of shows that consisted of those folks, but that was it. If I can just be honest, I didn't get to see like game shows and comedians and those variety type things that you're used to seeing. And, it could very well be that I know MSC is newly cruising from U.S. ports. And so maybe they're still trying to learn the vibe of what U.S. cruisers expect at sea. But to me, it was not there quite yet. Not taking away from the talent that they did have. The singers were amazing. The juggler was good. But I mean, the juggler performed like 4 nights. We were on a 8-night cruise. I after the second juggle, I was pretty much juggled out, okay? So it would have been nice to have some more variety of the shows. The shows themselves were good, but we got to mix it up a little bit, MSC. And for that reason alone, I'm giving it 5 out of 10. Parties. I'm giving parties a 6 out of 10. The parties that I attended were okay. That first night in the club was spectacular. The DJ was hitting, the crowd was feeling it. Everybody, it was like a glow party. Everybody was doing what needed to be done, okay? If that consistency had remained, it would have been a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, it did not. Some of the parties after that just kind of went downhill. There was music that wasn't party music. It's like you're saying this is the club, but you're playing jazz. I get it. I love jazz, but jazz needs to be in the piano bar for the people who want to listen to jazz. You don't play jazz 2 o'clock in the morning in the club. Sorry, you just don't. So it was just weird, you know, that the vibe changed so dramatically. But the other reason why I'm giving a 6 out of 10 is because some of the parties, crazy as it sounds, felt scripted. Like when we went to the white, I don't know what they call it. I think they call it like white hot deck party or whatever. It was like, okay, you guys, we're going to do this over here. And then we're going to step 2 times to the left. Then we're going to shake it on down to the right. And it was like they were telling the crowd how to dance. It wasn't like I've seen before where they will have like a dance class at a specific time in preparation for like a certain line dance or whatever that's going to happen later. But this is like in the middle of the party, you're telling people the dance routine. Like, just play the music and let us do our own thing. All right. So for that reason, 6 out of 10 on the parties. Just let people party. Don't instruct me on how to get down. I can get down on my own. All right. So 5th category is drinks. Ooh, child, them drinks. 8 out of 10 on the drinks for sure. Okay. And I would be willing to go higher than that. The only reason I am reserving 2 points is because of consistency. Okay. And I will explain. My husband and I fell in love with one in particular bar on the ship. Every time we were having drinks, we went to that bar to get the drinks. And honey, them drinks were chef's kiss perfect, okay? They had just the right amount of, you know, adultness in it, that they were good, and that they got you where you wanted to go. But it was like hit or miss at some of the other bars. Sometimes things felt too watered down, or, you know, service was just ridiculously slow at certain bars and things like that. And then it didn't help that the bar that we fell in love with closed at a certain time because it was on one of the decks. It was not open on the inside 24, well, not 24, but, you know, longer into the night. So that said, it's still an 8 out of 10 because the drinks are there. Okay. We had the drink package. It was, I'm not going to say it was cheap. It was affordable. It was comparable to other drink packages. I mean, it's a drink package. You're going to pay for it. So there's no complaint on how much it costs or anything, but it was just a little like, I shouldn't feel like I'm only going to get my money's worth or get a drink that I really like if I go to this one in particular bar. So for that reason, I'm dropping 2 points, 8 out of 10, but honey, if them drinks had been on like that at every single bar, that would have been a 10 out of 10 easy for me on the drinks. All right, y'all, this is probably the worst score of, no, not probably, it is the worst score of the video, in case you were wondering. Main dining room, 0 out of 10, 0. And I don't take it back, and I'm going to explain why. Y'all, we only ate in that main dining room 2 nights. We went the first night, and my excitement, I think, got the best of me because I saw what was on my plate and I knew it was not going to be good. And my excitement just allowed me to eat it anyways. And then we went on like the first elegant night of the cruise, and it was not good either. It was like lobster, but the lobster had 0 flavor. The butter had no salt. Like, there was just nothing. I could not literally taste anything. It was just like eating water. It was, y'all, do yourself a favor and go to the buffet or go to the special dining, which I'm going to talk about those 2 categories in a minute. But that main dining room was not it. Okay, the only thing that I got out of that main dining room was they turned me on to a new like brand of bottled water that I hadn't tried before that I do enjoy. But you know it's real bad when the best thing in the dining room on a cruise ship is the bottled water. I mean, come on, that says a lot. So that being said, y'all, 0 out of 10 on that dining room. You need to go to the buffet or one of the free options, or you need to go to specialty. And that is a good segue into the buffet and the free dining options. Now, everything that was on that ship for free to eat, with the exception of the main dining room, was pretty darn good. I'm giving it a solid 6 out of 10. Okay. The reason is some things you pick up off the buffet, you don't like it. You know, it's buffet, but the benefit is because it's buffet, you just don't eat that and go get something else, right? The food was a little lackluster at some times. It was like hot dogs and french fries and stuff like that if you got late into the night, but that's typical when it comes to cruises. But during the daytime or at dinner time, the food was pretty solid. It tasted good. It was always, plentiful. And I really liked how they had the buffet laid out, because you didn't feel like it was just a long line. There was a method to the madness. It was like 4 or 5 different lines and they all had the same thing. So it kind of broke it up for crowd control purposes. So 6 out of 10 on the buffet. Okay, y'all, specialty dining, 10 out of 10. I cannot say enough about the specialty dining. Every single bite I had in a specialty restaurant was delicious, okay? Absolutely delicious. And something that I really like about MSC is that they actually have a specialty dining package. Everybody hears about like the drink packages on cruise ships, but this was the first time I had experienced, and I'm not saying anybody else doesn't have it, I'm just saying this is the first time I had experienced a specialty dining package where you could purchase so many meals at a specialty dining facility. And so after that first night, in the dining room, and we knew that was not it, and we were like, well, I guess we're eating the buffet for the rest of the week. While we were at breakfast the next day, the workers, the crew members were walking around and trying to sell these specialty dining packages. And I finally was like, okay, tell me about the package. What is it? For a set amount, you could buy like 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever increment you wanted, visits to a specialty dining restaurant. And so we said, okay, fine, we'll do that. And we purchased it. Y'all, best thing, I would not cruise MSC without buying the specialty dining package again. And to me, it was worth every penny, because buying it in the package also meant you were paying less per restaurant that you decided to visit. So you're saving money on the specialty dining, and the food is superb. We did the steakhouse, we did the hibachi, we did the sushi bar, and there was another one. Oh, we did the Hola Taco, which was like the Mexican, all you can eat Mexican restaurant. It was all good. Okay. All of it. Number 9 on the list is staff vibes. Okay. The staff's overall vibes, their presentation, their professionalism, the entertainment, all of that. I'm giving that a 7 out of 10. I did not run into any rude staff members. Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was engaged in what they were supposed to be doing. And I'm not so much giving a 7 out of 10 as a bad thing towards the actual workers on the ship. I am giving it more so overall in that you could feel the fact that they were short-staffed. Delays at the bar, things like that, like a whole bar in the, like example, casino bar in prime time, 8-9 o'clock at night with 2 bartenders, like very, very, very slow service. And it wasn't that the people were being, because they were hustling. I mean, they were slinging drinks. Hear me. They were hustling. But it was like, why don't you just have more people working the bar at this time? In the middle of the day, sure, 2 people at a bar is fine. But this is nighttime. Everybody's out. Everybody's up for their nap or they're back on the ship. They are wanting to get lit. They are wanting to get these drinks and go spend some money in your casino. And y'all are taking a really long time to make them be able to go do that. So it was not anything in particular about the staff members themselves. They were awesome. Everybody was kind. You speak to them, they speak to you. I had zero issues with the actual kindliness of the staff, but the vibe of the staff overall felt like they were all just hustling because they were very, very short. Okay, you guys, and the last category is fellow cruiser vibes. And this is important, and I'm judging this on anybody's cruise line that I go on because the people around you help to make or break your vacation, okay? And I feel that there is a cruise environment for every cruiser, but every cruise is not for every cruiser. I hope that made sense. There's a personality or a habit or a, functionality of every single person who travels that vibes in some areas and just does not vibe in others. And unfortunately, this was the case here with myself and MSC. So for fellow cruiser vibes, they get a 3. I hate to say it, but they do. The vibe just was not there for me. I usually meet so many nice people, fun people. People go on cruises to meet people a lot of times. So I would cruise solo on some cruise lines and just know I'm going to find friends when I get there. I personally would not cruise solo on MSC. I would be sitting there staring at the wall by myself for 7 days. That's the vibe I got. Okay. First night at dinner, we were seated with a couple that were just not nice. They were just looking at us like, why are you at our table? Not knowing that this was a shared table. It was not good. That probably didn't even help the fact of the food being bad. I mean, it was just not good. And then I also had an encounter in the buffet area with a woman. Oh my goodness, just getting loud and rude and mean with a member of the staff about the juice being watered down. And it's like, lady, if that juice machine is watered down, go to the other juice machine. But this chick really asked to speak to a manager and everything. I mean, just doing entirely too much. So for that reason, fellow cruiser vibes are a 3 for me. Would I ever sail MSC again based off of those cruiser vibes? Maybe if I were with a big group and I was bringing the vibes with me, okay? But with the vibes that was there, nah, probably not. Okay, everybody, so we just covered the 10 categories. We got stateroom at a 9, ship appearance at an 8, shows and activities at a 5, parties at a 6, drinks at an 8, main dining room at a 0, buffet and free dining at a 6, specialty dining at a 10 out of 10, staff vibes at a 7, and fellow cruisers at a 3, bringing our grand total for the MSC Seashore to a 62 out of 100. Y'all, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, that was a solid D-. Okay, I am not gonna say I would never sail with MSC again. That's just a false statement. I entirely might. Okay, I would definitely give them a second chance to see if anything has changed or if this is a habit. Anybody can have a bad sailing, right? Anybody can have a bad day. Any team can win or lose a game. I get that. So I would definitely give them another chance. But on a first impression, they got a solid 62 out of 100 for me. And I don't know how I feel about that, you guys. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Would you give MSC another shot after the review I just gave y'all? Or do you think I should just wrap it up and keep it pushing? What I will say also is that because I'm a travel agent, I got a really, really, really good deal on this cruise. And I don't know if that would have skewed my scores if I had paid full price and then had the same experience. My scores might have gone down a little bit, if I can be honest. If I had paid full price and then had that experience, I might not have been, as generous with some of these scores, to be honest. But overall, I think that everything went well. tagline special note, and it's not one of my 10 categories that I judge off of, but I want to mention it because it's something that I may or may not do on a cruise ship, but I did buy the Wi-Fi package. We bought the Wi-Fi package that allows for everything, like their top tier one that allows for streaming, phone, if web-based phone calls, all that type of stuff. And the Wi-Fi was good. If Wi-Fi were going to be factored in, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But I don't factor it in because I don't necessarily buy Wi-Fi on every single cruise. I do have all of these 10 things on every cruise. So when comparing cruise to cruise, it's a little easier if I just keep those outlier scores out. Okay, so the Wi-Fi was good. I will give them that. But that's it, y'all. I hope you have enjoyed this review of the MSC Seashore and my experience on it. Have you been on the Seashore? Have you been on any MSC ship? Let me know what your experience was. I would love to hear about it. If there was a better experience on another ship, maybe I'll try another ship with MSC and give them another shot. But at any rate, thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.